Hey, what's up everybody? This is your boy Kenny, and this is Star Season 3, Episode 5, and the name of this episode is Someday We'll All Be Free. This was a really good episode. I mean, Star really got me at the edge of my seat, because I can't wait to see what's going to happen next. But let me begin with this review. And again, for those who are new to this channel, welcome to KRS TV. So, let's get it popping over here. So the episode picks up what we saw from the last episode. Carlotta literally was walking in darkness, you know, and all she had on was like her pajamas, and she was drinking some brown liquor, probably Jack. And we see that back at the house, we see that the girls are there along with Cassie and also Cotton, and they're all trying to figure out where did she go, because she left everything. She left her phone, left her purse. You know, she just wandered off and nobody knows where she went. And then finally Miss Bruce showed up, and she see that Cassie's there, and she's like, now who in the hell left stepping to the bad side up in here? I was rolling. And she was like, look, you know, I care. And like Cassie, and if anything, this episode made me actually like Cassie's character even more, because it's like now I'm now starting to understand Cassie a little bit more. And we see that Cassie does love her sister, but Cassie just has this nasty ass attitude and this vicious competitive thing against Carlotta, and she lets it and she takes it too damn far. But Miss Bruce like, why the hell you here? Because you one of the reasons why she flipping the hell out. And you know, Cassie's like, well, I'm really concerned, you know, that she just walked off like this. I mean, hell, you know, it's not like she hasn't done this before. And then Bruce was like, oh, you are a rotten bitch to bring that up. You know what? Get the hell out of here, Cassie. Get the hell out of here, because you know you want some messy shit. So eventually Cassie leaves, and they're supposed to be meeting with this guy. I think his name was Mr. Bridge or Mr. Bring, whatever his name is. But he's supposed to be this investor in her and Carlotta's idea, the Rhythms and Bells Festival. So pretty much Miss Bruce is like, look, we need to be on our A game, because you know, Take 3 is supposed to be the headlining act for this festival, so let's get things moving. So then we get a scene where Carlotta is dancing with Hael, and they're dancing to Rapper's Delight in the studio, and we definitely can tell that it's like in Carlotta's head, or it's like a dream, because the next thing you know, we see that she's like passed out in some restaurant. The police wakes her up, and we see that the woman that's working there, the waitress, she's being a real bitch. It's like, oh, she's a homeless person, and she's bleeding, and she's obviously pissed herself, and all this. And I'm like, it really pisses me off when people disrespect homeless people, because you don't know that walk. You don't know what that person has been through that put them in that situation. So when you don't show compassion, or at least some humility when dealing with homeless people, it really pisses me off. Because at the end of the day, you can lose all your shit and you could be homeless. And how would you want people to treat you? So here it is. She's pretty much saying that, look, I'm not homeless. I've been drinking and I fell asleep, and I actually have a salon, and I'm also the CEO of a record company. And the lady, I think, said some slick shit like, well, you know, maybe, well, and she's like, but I don't have my phone. She's like, well, maybe you lost it when you pissed yourself. And she was about to whoop her ass, and if it wasn't for the cop taking her down, Carlotta was gonna fuck old girl up. And trust me, I would have been here for it, because she was disrespectful and trifling. And it just makes me, it's just sad that you got people in the world like that. So we see that Noah is with Megan, who's Maurice's ex-wife, and she's an attorney. You know, they pretty much we can see that there's some chemistry there between the two of them. She's still working out his contract, for Karma, and he was saying that, yeah, music and everything is good, but going from a major label to an indie label, everything is different. It's like, and pretty much she has a discussion that, yeah, I actually worked for a corporate firm and then I walked away to start my own practice. And yeah, it's harder, and yeah, it's definitely not easy, but it's worth it, because you can do things on your terms. And I was thinking, wow, boss moves, entrepreneurship, and that's definitely what that scene was about. And I was like, that was great that they showcased that yeah, they walking away from being corporate, being a part of this big corporation to actually break off to do their own thing. So then we get a scene with Mateo and his wife. His wife says that the check from that orange night, the check had bounced, and she comes to find out, oh, Mateo, your ass been gambling again? And he was like, yeah, but I'm gonna make it up and all of this, and once we get this deal, things will start panning out. And she pretty much says that, look, you need to stop doing that. We're gonna figure out a way to pay back the pay your gambling debts, but you're not gonna sink this company to do it. So I'm sitting here like, see, Mateo up here doing all this bullshit against Carlotta, but at least Carlotta's legit with her shit. You up in here doing bullshit. You gambling with the company's money. It just goes to show you that, yeah, Mateo ain't the good businessman as he portrays himself to be. It seemed to me he's more like a motherfucker who just got lucky rather than a person who knows how to strategize. So then we see that Miss Bruce is actually having a meeting with Mr. Bling on Carlotta's behalf, and we can definitely see that he's very transphobic because he pretty much called him Mr. Bruce and not Miss Bruce. And then he was saying that, look, I want to see Carlotta because I'm not going to actually sign a $10 million deal with the likes of you. And I'm like, see, you need to go somewhere with that disrespectful shit. First of all, she's representing Carlotta. She's Carlotta's assistant. And she says that, look, everything that Carlotta has designed is right here, printed out for you. Like, you could have done it in a different way, but it was just very disrespectful how he went about it. And then we see that Mateo came in there and he says that, oh yeah, we had this event, and you should come to it. And he was like, so, this is gonna be the launch, for the rhythm and bells. And he was like, and of course he's like, and you mean that Carlotta's gonna be there? He's like, oh yeah, she will be there, all right. And then once he leaves, he's like telling Miss Bruce, oh yeah, make sure Carlotta's there because her career depends on it. And I'm like, his ass jumping on that shit because he want that $10 million and he want to use that to cover his bullshit. So then we see that Carlotta they pretty much took her to a psych ward. And pretty much the psychiatrist is actually trying to talk to her about her mental health issues, but Carlotta is very resistant, and she says that I don't have mental problems. There's nothing wrong with me. I got meetings to get to, and you holding me up. Let me the hell out of here. And the doctor was like, well, from your history, it seems that this is not the first time you've had, a mental breakdown. And as a matter of fact, yeah, I know about your career. And didn't you just get in a fight with the owner from the Karma nightclub? She says, yeah, it was my sister. We got in a fight. So what? And, next thing you know, she just kind of flips out. And then the psychiatrist is like, well, due to the fact that you can't even give me a conversation without being so aggressive. But she's like, why is it that anytime if a black woman not smiling, she's got to be crazy, she's got to be aggressive and all this shit. And she literally like knocked the food over. She's like, let me the hell out of here. And the psychiatrist tells her, I'm putting you on a 72-hour hold, so her ass can't leave. So then we see that the girls are rehearsing, And of course, Miss Bruce gets word, and she lets them know what's going on. That she's that they put her on a 72-hour hold, so we just gotta hold Carlotta down. And then all of a sudden, that damn Olivia shows up, and she's like, "Well, Alex, I thought we were gonna be doing this and doing that." Well, Alex lets her know, like, "Well, we really got some stuff to do." And besides, Miss Carlotta is in a psych ward, and we're trying to be there for her. And then she's like, "Oh yes, Miss Carlotta, isn't she like a second mother to you and everything?" And then like Simone was like, "Girl, you don't know her like that. Back the fuck up." And I was like, "You better get her ass, Simone." And like Star was like, "Look, we got work to do, so eventually you'll have time to do whatever it is you do with Alex, but right now we got stuff to do." So they kind of pretty much just sent her ass off. So then we see that Maurice, runs into Megan, and he's pretty much saying that Noah's using you and that I still love you and all that. And pretty much she says that, "Look, I'm working with my client, and we will have a revised, contract that I'm going to need for you to look over." So, after that, so she pretty much kind of like lets Maurice know that this is business and you need to stop your bullshit. Because she knows that Maurice is a damn snake. And then on top of it, it just goes to show you that he never loved Carlotta at all. He likes to get involved with women he works with. So it just goes to show you that the one he's really in love with was Megan, the first wife that he screwed up. So then we see that Simone and Mateo's wife have a moment where she opens up that she's worried about Carlotta, that they put on a psych hold, and she tells Simone that as far as your reading and everything, I can help you with the script. Don't worry about it. So then we see that Mateo and his wife have a moment, and she says that, "Look, we're gonna do this. We're gonna be behind this festival thing, but this is not gonna be how you're gonna solve your financial problems. So don't even try that shit." But he also lets her know about Carlotta's state, so now he's completely taken over the whole festival and everything. So then we see Miss Bruce is having a moment with Noah's dad. We come to find out that her and Noah's dad, they've actually known each other ever since they were like kids or whatever, so they kind of grew up together. And pretty much he has a real discussion with Noah's dad and said that, "Look, you got a lot of work to do as far as your son. I mean, yeah, you may have taken him off that building, but yet you one of the main reasons why he was on that building in the first damn place. So you need to own that shit. You was fucked up on how you abandoned that boy." But he was saying that, but then he was also saying that this whole situation that's going on with Carlotta, with her psychiatric issues, is making me kind of confront mine, like my father. And then Noah's dad was like, "Yeah, I remember that." He was like, "Yeah, my father had me locked up when I told him that I was gay, but not only that I was trans. And then literally the whole church mocked me. The people that was supposed to embrace me and tried to help me to get close to the guy were the ones who made me turn away from him." And then they kind of made the joke that, yeah, even Stevie Wonder can see more than church folk. So we kind of see that, yeah, that even Miss Bruce has a past, and now she's being forced to deal with some of those issues. But then I'm starting to see that there's definitely some chemistry going on with Noah's dad and Miss Bruce, and I could definitely see them becoming something. So we just have to keep watching with that. So then we see that Cotton goes to visit Carlotta, brings some clothes for her, and she tells him that everybody's worried about you. Even Aunt Cassie was over. She was like, "Cassie, she's the reason why I'm in here." And she was saying that you can't blame Cassie for the reason why you wandered off. You got to stop doing this. And she pretty much says that, look, Cassie wanted to kill Andy because he owed her money. That bullet that killed your father was meant for Andy. So Cassie killed your daddy. And I'm sorry that I didn't tell you this. I just can't hold on to it anymore. I've been holding this, and this is one of the reasons why I had a break. Because I just been holding this secret, and I can't hold it no more. And we definitely see that that really shook Cotton up. So then we get a scene with Olivia and Star. Star is like taking selfies with Alex's wardrobe or whatever, and she's like, that's actually Alex's dress, and you need to kind of take it to her. And she was, and she says, oh yeah, and I remember that little stunt you pulled where you kind of went on stage with her. I'm letting you know if you do that shit again. And she's like, and what you gonna do? And Star was like, look, boo boo, I don't know who you think you are, but I ain't the one. And I'm like, yeah, because you finally got the crazy one right here, because Star could fuck her up. And she says, so, and besides, how you get close to Alex anyway? Where are you even from? She was like, I'm from Hong Kong. She's like, oh, you a funny bitch, huh? Well, she was like, look, all I'm saying is that you might want to kind of, slow your roll, because I would hate for you to trip on that baby. And Star was like, oh, you threaten my child one more damn time and you gonna be 6 feet under with your dead damn sister. Keep fucking with me. I was like, Star, you better get our ass, because we just been saying that Olivia is one psychotic evil bitch, and she definitely got a hidden agenda, and it definitely gets revealed in this episode. So then we see that Star goes to talk to Derek about it. And of course Derek brings up like, oh, you talking about helping Alex? Oh yeah, the same Alex that you did a diss song about, and then talked about her man being in a wheelchair and all that. What was that all about? Now you care? And she was like, look, I've always cared. Look, we're sisters. We're gonna fight. Alex is family to me. Yeah, I had my moment, but I still don't want nothing bad to happen to her. Now, what's up with this girl Olivia? Something ain't right about her. And Derek opens up, yeah, I didn't trust her from the start, and she says that, look, you need to look into her and find out what's going on. So then we see that Cotton goes to Karma to see Cassie. And we can definitely see in this situation Cotton is pissed off, because now she knows the truth. And pretty much Cassie asks her how she doing. She's like, she's fine. Yeah, she's like, yeah, they got her on that 5150, and I don't know what it is, but she just been tripping lately. And we just kind of see that Cotton is like looking at this bitch like, you still gonna keep up the fucking line, not even knowing that I know the fact that you the reason why my father's dead. So pretty much we see in this scene also that afterwards Cassie goes to talk to Maurice. Maurice is saying that, look, I've been talking with because we kind of see that Maurice is doing his snake moves that he normally does. He was saying that, look, I'm working with Mateo, and we can make Noah the headline of this festival and push Take 3 out of it all together. And he was like, no, we're not gonna do that. And he was saying that, look, right now my sister's out of it, we're not gonna do that. And he was like, look, this is the move that we need to make. We need to do this. This is what's going to take us to the next level. And she told Maurice, like, look, I told your ass to fall the fuck back. We not doing this shit. And you need to ask about me. I ain't to be fucked with. So hold your hand and stay in your lane. I was like, oh shit, Cassie. So then, we see that Take 3 is, working, and then Miss Bruce comes and lets them know that they're making Noah Brooks the headliner for the festival. They're out, and that Mateo's taking over, and Mateo is working with Maurice. So we see all of that go on. This pisses Simone off because she's like, I told this bitch this shit in confidence, and yet she told Mateo about it. So she confronts her about it, and she was like, well, Mateo's my husband and you're my artist. And Mr. Simone was like, oh, so that's how we playing it. I'm like, yeah, you can't trust the bitch. Okay. So then after that, we see that, now that Take 3 is no longer headlining the festival, Olivia puts in her head like, well, now that you're not doing the festival, won't you come and spend time with me and my family? What's that girl's name? The girl that... Bianca. She was like, Bianca's birthday's coming up. My family would love to see you. Let's go spend some time together. And Alex agrees. And I'm like, oh my God, Alex, you are being too damn gullible with this bitch. So then we see that Cassie goes to see Carlotta. And she's like, what the hell you doing here? And she's like, look, I just came here to see how you doing. And she's like, you the reason why I'm in this bitch. Get the hell out of here. She's like, I just wanted to see you. She's like, you see me, now get the fuck out. And she was like, look, I know, you've been going through a lot, and I know it just kind of took me back to when, after Daddy left, you had ran away and everything. And she just flipped the fuck out, and she tells Cassie, get the hell out of here. Get the fuck out of here now. And Cassie does end up leaving. So then we see that Miss Bruce runs into Noah, and she kind of lets Noah know that, you know what? You a real selfish motherfucker the way you've been carrying shit lately. Carlotta has always been in your corner, and you would just diss her like that. And he was like, well, it wasn't nothing like that. And she says, and yeah, and Carlotta right now is sick. She's now, on the cycle. She's like, oh my God. And then like, Miss Bruce lets him know, like, yeah, you knew about it if you were actually kept in touch. And she says that, yeah, and you definitely need to also start working out things with your father too. And she says, I know you solo, but solo doesn't mean selfish. I was like, you better go, Miss Bruce. Miss Bruce was definitely doing her thing in this episode, and I was so here for her. But yeah, she got Noah all together. Like, look, Carlotta was always in your corner, and now she is going through it, and yet you literally left her to sign with the enemy. So of course, Maurice is still trying to work his magic on Megan. He tells about the festival and that Mateo's working with him, and this is going to be big, and Noah's going to be headlining. She's like, okay, we'll discuss business, but nothing more. Because Megan ain't feeling his ass right now. She's just not doing that shit. So then, she pretty much Cassie gets wind that Maurice is working with Mateo. What she told him not to do, she told him to fall back and don't get yourself involved, but he did anyway. She puts a gun on his ass like, you think I'm fucking playing with your ass, huh? And Maurice starts feeling himself and was like, really? You ain't gonna shoot me in here with a whole group of fucking people. And besides, I'm making moves that's gonna take us to the next level, so you need to remember who's really in charge around here. I'm like, oh, Maurice, you really feeling your shit. And just like your ass got fired last season, your ass might be 6 feet under by the end of this one. Keep up with your bullshit, Maurice. So then we see that Noah is pretty much headlining, and he brings up Take 3, but Alice is gone, so it's only starring Simone. But they get up there and they do my song Imagination, and they dedicate it to Carlotta. So the three of them were literally keeping Carlotta's name out there the whole entire event. So pretty much, Carlotta is still got her place, and they're making sure that they got Carlotta's back, and I was so here for that. So then after their performance, Derek is there, and Derek runs into Derek runs into Star and Simone, and you know, Star's like, you know, where's Alex? And Derek was like, I thought she was with y'all. He was like, oh, and they was like, oh shit, you know. She's like, did you find anything? And he's like, well, I got the number to Bianca's family. She says, well, call the number. So she calls the number, and it's Bianca's mom, and she's like, oh yes, he's like, hi, my name is Derek, Alex Crane's boyfriend. She's like, oh yes, Alex has been very generous, and we're very grateful for her. And she's like, yeah, I heard that she's supposed to be on her way there with Olivia, Bianca's sister. She was like, Bianca, Olivia is not Bianca's sister. She tried to hurt my daughter. Your girl's in danger. So they immediately know, yeah, Olivia wasn't who she said she was. And we all were kind of figuring that too. So then we see that Cassie goes to see Carlotta, and she shows her the performance, you know, on her phone, that yeah, they killed it, and they still kept your memory alive, you know. And pretty much, you know, and then pretty much Carlotta was like, when is it gonna end for you? You know, first you kill Hail, and now Andy. What the hell? And she's like, I didn't kill Andy. And that's when she kind of goes off on Cassie. Like, she jacks Cassie up like, you fucking lying. You fucking lying. But she didn't kill Andy, though. She actually did let Andy go. But Andy ended up getting fucked up afterwards. But we saw that in the last episode. And then she was saying that, you know what? You have always been at me. You know, especially after Daddy left. And she was like, but you haven't been the same since Daddy left and all this shit. And Carlotta lets Cassie know, you don't know who Daddy is. And Cassie's like, I know he loved you more than he loved me. But yeah, we find out a little bit more about that later on. So then we see Olivia takes Alex to this rundown trailer. You know, they are definitely some hoarders. And she goes in there, her aunt's there. Her aunt's going to hell off like, who the hell is this? And blah, 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 blah. Why you always bringing motherfuckers up in there? And then, like, she goes to deal with her aunt. But while she's dealing with her aunt, Alex opens up this chest. Or, like, this, like, like this chest or whatever. And she sees it's an actual shrine of her. So, literally, this girl is obsessed with her. And then, all of a sudden, she comes back. And she's like, Olivia, where's my phone? She's like, I took it. And she was like, excuse me? She's like, I took it and you ain't getting it back, bitch. And then she was like, I just wanted to be your friend. And she's like, but, you know, but we could have been friends, but, you know, that bitch Star got in the way of it. And she was like, we are cool. Like, what the hell? Like, what are you doing? And she was saying that, you know, well, I tried to get close to you. And, you know, it seems to me that you're now starting to resist. And she's like, no, you know, I definitely understand you're going through a lot with losing your sister Bianca. She says, Bianca's not my sister. She's some bitch in high school that would never talk to me. And she says, but I've been watching you, and I like you, and I want to be where you are. You know, I want to be seen. And she says, like, look, fame is not what you think it is. There's times I wish I was not famous. There's times I wish I can get away. And she's like, yeah, you're saying that because you take it for granted. And then the next thing you know, we see that the damn police are, you know, outside. And here it is. She had a damn bat to Alex. And here it is. We think that she's about to take that bat and swing it. But Alex was able to duck, and she pushed her ass and got up out of there. And the police went and got her. So they pretty much got Alex back safe and sound. So I'm glad that storyline ended. But then there's a shocker towards the end, and I'm going to get to that shit. So we pretty much see that Bling has decided to invest his $10 million. But Mateo's wife put a clause in it. She was like, oh no, we're not going to do anything effective until Carlotta's back, so therefore that money would be held in escrow until she returns. And then we see Mateo looking all stupid. I'm like, yeah, that's what you get with your greedy, slimy ass. That's exactly what the fuck you get, Mateo. So she literally checked his ass like, no, you're not getting that money. That money's gonna be used for the event, and we're gonna find another way to deal with your gambling shit. So then we see Carlotta meets up with the doctor. The doctor decides to let her go. And she says that, look, black women are strong, but at times black women need help too. And she opens up about, whatever it is you're struggling with, you're going to have to deal with it, or you're going to end up back here. And she opens up that, look, my husband just died, and the thing about it, nobody knew he was my husband. It was kind of like our secret, which is why it's hurting my heart now, because now I'm feeling my better half is gone. He knew me better than anybody. And the doctor suggested that she should let other people in. And then, like, she says that, I have a lot of anger and pain. And then she says, my sister Cassie has no idea what I did for her. She's up here talking about our daddy and everything. Well, what I did is I protected her from daddy, because what my daddy did to me was not love. And I was like, holy shit. So here it is, you done fucking built this competitive thing against your sister, and at the whole time your father was sexually abusing her, and she was protecting you so that he wouldn't do it to you. But we see that finally Carlotta returns to the family. She says she's gonna go to this retreat in Jamaica for about 2 weeks, and she's gonna, get herself together. And she even talks to Cotton, like, Cotton, do not do nothing until I get back. Because Cotton read it. Cotton was like, she's a monster. She's like, you need to calm down. We're going to handle this when I get back. And she's like, I got you. And then we see that after that, Miss Bruce calls someone, and she's like, meet me somewhere. And then we see Star and Alex have a moment where she was like, girl, as crazy as my ass is, you should have smelt that Looney Tune bitch coming. And she's like, yeah, you're right. But then she kind of tells her that, look, you have to stop doing this to yourself. What happened with the plane was not your fault, and what happened to Bianca was not your fault, and you got to stop blaming yourself for this. And she says that, look, it's not your fault. You have to get past this. Because she says that you internalizing things, you won't end up like Miss Carlotta. So they actually came together as Take 3, and they hugged her down, and that was a good moment. Then we see that Noah and Megan finally kiss, and I'm like, yo, Noah, this could work for you, but then if you fuck with this girl, she may fuck you up. So I suggest you, if you are using her, yeah, you're gonna regret it. So that's all I gotta say about that. But I think he really is starting to like the girl, and definitely she's starting to like him. So we're gonna see what's gonna happen between Noah and Megan down the line. So then we see that Bruce and Noah's dad meet up. They're at a church, and it's the church that her father used to preach in. I think her father's now deceased. And she said that now that Carlotta's dealing with her healing, it's about time for me to start healing from my past. As much as I used to pray to ask God to make me normal because who I wasn't considered normal by everybody else. And then he was saying that, look, you're here right now. Your father's here. Speak to him. And he gets up there, and Miss Lawrence is a singing powerhouse, because he starts singing Jesus Loves Me. I was moved, and it was beautiful. And then we see Noah's dad looking up at him, and I was like, he's falling in love with him, and it's obvious because he sees the good in him. And when he sung the song, he was like, wow, being black and gay, we more like Jesus than people realize, because we accept hate, we get beat down, and yet we still rise. And I was like, amen. And here it is, the two of them were looking at each other, and they start getting, they literally had that look in their eyes. I was like, ooh, oh yeah, they definitely gonna get together. So we're gonna see what's gonna happen there. And then we see that Carlotta goes to the studio, to say goodbye to Hyle or whatever. And then we see that Hyle was like, bye Carlotta, in her, and I was like, wow, so he's gonna always have a place in our heart. And then we get the shocker of this episode, because Alex and Derek are now, everything's back to normal, and they in bed and everything, and then all of a sudden Star calls Alex. She says, Go online right now. And then we see that damn Alice has a sex tape out because and she's like, how the hell? And then they remember, and then all of a sudden they get she looks at the picture of Bianca. She breaks the picture and see the damn camera up in the bitch, and I'm like, so this is gonna be some shit, coming next episode. So we're gonna see what's gonna happen with that. But this was a really good episode, and I'm so happy that both Empire and Star is back after the World Series, because I love these shows. So that's what I have, y'all. If I missed anything, put it down in the comments. I'd love to talk to you about it. But subscribe to my channel. Click that bell so you get notifications every time I drop a video. Also, follow me on all of my social platforms. I have them all listed in the description box. Also, like this video, comment on this video, and share this video. And I'll be back with the next episode of Star. So until next time, everybody, take care.